So good evening all. My name is Gaurav Sawant. I am a digital marketing manager of Pocket HRMS. I'll be, kickstarting today's session. Uh, First of all, let me introduce today's speaker, Mr. Sarthak Sinha. He's a guest speaker for today's session. Sarthak is one of the founding members of Plum, and he has successfully crafted world-class comprehensive employee benefit plans for over 25 Indian unicorns, which includes Swiggy, Zomato, Unacademy, etc., etc. As a youngest leader within Plum's ranks, Sarthak has played a pivotal role in driving their remarkable growth, attracting and serving a diverse customer base of 3,000 plus organizations. Then we have another. Then we have our today's special host, Mr. Jiten sir. So Jiten sir is the co-founder of Pocket HRMS, one of the best cloud-based HRMS software in India. He is an alumni of IIM Lucknow. He keeps a look at the future of technology in the HR domain to effectively guide the proudest team to transform Pocket HRMS into the de facto standard for HRMS. He has been instrumental in enabling enhanced growth with innovative ideas and creative concepts, which has proven to be effective in augmenting HR process. So I welcome Jiten sir and Sarthak Sinha sir to this wonderful evening, and I welcome all of you for this session. I guess over to you, Jiten sir.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Gaurav. Thank you for introduction. And just to start with, I want to clarify the photo which you have used is not the latest one. As you can see, I am not hiding my age. I am much older than what you have shown to the video, though I cannot say the same thing for Sarthak. He is a young wizard, and it's always pleasure to be connected to the young blood because it gives a different sort of energy. And you have already introduced Sarthak, so I would just like to add few things about Plum. Okay, Plum is insurance technology and employee health benefit organization. So Plum is actually backed up by some marquee names in investment banking and some globally well-known giant in venture capitalists, like they are backed by Tiger Global and Sequoia, which I think every one of us have heard because the same VCs have invested in the organizations which we use on daily basis like Swiggy, Zomato, and Creates and all those things. So they are backed up by some world-class venture capitalist firm. So what they do is they help organization, especially high growth organization, to build and manage a comprehensive health benefit plan. So I am not using the word insurance because it's not only insurance, it's a complete health benefit. Sarthak is the right person, which he will explain. And he will explain, so we'll try to, keep this session as an interactive rather than having a PowerPoint slide. And he will answer some queries about, how what new age companies think about the insurance. And when I say new age, fortunately, unfortunately, year 2020, whatever happened in 2021 has made every organization as a new age company, which I believe. So today, its new age company is not restricted to a startup based out of Bangalore, a company based out of Calcutta, or a company based out of Coimbatore is also a new age company, because that particular period, which is 2021, has all taught us that how do we, do the business in different circumstances. And we all have started recognizing that what is the importance of health in for personal also, as well as what is the importance of health for our employees. So as I said that, I am not an expert on health benefits. All I know is that I have insurance. My organization has covered me for insurance. So I'm happy. But then I will let, Sarthak explain that what do you mean, what exactly you mean by, employee health benefits and how different it is from insurance.
Lovely.
So
Thanks.
Sarthak.
Thanks a
Yeah.
lot, Gaurav, for that wonderful introduction you made. Very humbled by it. And Jitendra, thanks a lot. I it The young blood only goes as far as learning from the industry domain. So I'm incredibly happy to be collaborating with Pocket HRMS and you specifically today. I know that you are taking time out of your busy schedule to do this for the larger audience at Pocket HRMS as well. So for everyone who's joining, thanks a lot for making time to join today. This session is going to be incredibly helpful in walking you through of how Plum, as today India's largest B2B or corporate health insurance provider that serves close to about 3,600 companies, builds plans for companies across India. And what is a smaller cheat sheet that I can share with you in a very limited time that we have today, so that you can build some of the best plans for your teams in the future as well. So I hope I do justice to your time. I would love to continue chatting now. We've got something very powerful packed details to be covered as well today. So Gaurav, over to you. Sorry, Dia, if you're on the call, we can quickly get started.
Right. So, Sarthak, I'm interested in, I have a personal interest in employee well-being and employee health benefits. Okay, because that is what we also do as an organization. We are also an organization, and that's what we also believe. So, I take this opportunity to probably, get some of the question answered for me. Okay, so can you provide what is the overview of employee health benefits in India? Like a quick summary over,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
As a developing nation, we are probably one of the fastest growing markets, both in
Mm,
terms of penetration and awareness. Of course, with more
mm,
than about 1.4 billion of us today, there are more than 600 million which
mm,
still do not have access
mm,
to insurance. But to give you
mm,
statistics where we are today, we today cover about 3.8% of our overall population in India, which is accessing health insurance by their own volition, which means they're purchasing plans on a retail basis. This 3% is a population which is smaller than the credit card users in India. So you could
mm,
imagine the number of people swiping at Big Bazaar and Vishal Mega Marts across India
mm,
through a simple tool as credit card, even in the
mm,
day and age of UPI, still tend to be higher than the people who've bought health insurance for themselves. Um,
mm,
Interestingly, more than double of that number, which is close to about 8.5% of people in India, today are actually covered via group health insurances, which is employers building plans for not only employees but also covering their family members as well. And I'm sure that the people
mm,
who have joined us today are also privy that you can build plans which can cover not just employees but their immediate dependents, their parents, in-laws, etc. as well.
mm,
And for the larger population, which has always been seeking the government aspirational job up until the last few decades, there is a 24.6% which has
mm,
been covered directly by the government, either in form of the Ayush healthcare or in form of state-sponsored insurance in different states as well. So
mm.
63% of India still remains uninsured
Wow.
or inadequately insured in some plans, or I would say some schemes by the government, which they might not be privy to because they haven't bought into it. And this just goes to show that there are so many opportunities to be built in this market, but there is more and more awareness also which is required. So this is a quick glimpse of where do we stand with the insurance, its penetration and awareness in India.
Mm. Okay. Okay. So it's good, though I dispute your 2x inflation because I personally have seen 3x inflation. So 5 years ago, when I used to visit a doctor, he used to charge 100, and today he charges 300. 300 is just a number. Of course, nobody charges 300 anymore. So,
I would have
and I
asked you the
myself have
doctor.
learned importance of insurance in a very hard way around 20 years back. where my entire saving was lost in, in an unfortunate event. So I just wanted to understand, personally, we all understand that health insurance is very, very important. And today, after specifically after COVID, everyone has understood the importance of, health insurance. But why it is important to have employee benefits in the corporate, what it is in for corporates?
No, absolutely, and that's one of the perfect questions for us to cover today.
Mm,
This is us talking about how do we make a case for employers themselves to consider employee-sponsored insurance and benefits, right? So,
mm, mm,
when you look at the current situation where we are in India, we
mm,
are estimated to grow with 20% of insurance premiums being flushed into the market year on year, which means in the next 8 years itself, we'll be quadrupling the overall insurance penetration. Now, history has evidently proven that across some of the world's largest developed or developing nations, the penetration of insurance and so has the awareness of it only gone up by a great utilization of employer sponsored insurance. This is not just a caveat for people to just learn about insurance, but for the employers.
yeah.
Sure, Vijay. I'll definitely do that.
Mm,
So not only just a caveat for the current people, but all the employers who want to go ahead and in the future they want to build great benefits. In fact, I've built a complete slide on this. If you will be able to show the next one, we today in India are looking at three major aspects to make a case for employer-sponsored health insurance.
mm,
So number one
mhm.
is attracting and retaining great quality talent.
Yeah,
When you
that's
are
a big problem.
attracting great talent, that is your biggest moat to build quality products and quality services that helps your business scale. Which means, to the cusp of it, everything starts with people. You need great A players in your team to build the best plans, and 56% of those very people have actually gone back to their potential employer to first validate the kind of health benefits that they are providing to choose a potential employer. Think of it.
Okay.
Uh, uh, Almost 3 to 4 years ago, Jitain, when people used to join organization, and this includes me as well, I'm guilty as charged. I would only bother to go back in HR and ask them that, hey, do I have Uber credits to commute to office, or do I get gym benefits, or will I get food sponsored at workplace? But today, when I am hiring my own team and I'm today consulting more than 25 CHROs of some of India's largest companies, when they come back, the employers are being asked that, hey, are my parents going to be covered in your health insurance plan? How much is the sum insured that you're providing? Are you looking for me to put in a portion of the bill as copay when I'm going for a claim? Which means the awareness with one black swan incident of COVID made a whole working population so aware of insurance that today it has now become one of the core features to attract and retain great quality talent as well. Now, this further goes down to how the employer also benefits significantly from it. When you look at financial risk that a company also poses, and health insurance cost for an employee could be a fraction of what the health insurance expense would be when they go for a hospitalization. A
Mhm.
non-sponsored treatment at a hospital could go as high as an average of 3 to 4 lakh rupees for a family,
Mm.
versus if you look at a premium of them, that could be a couple thousand or maybe a couple 10,000 rupees change, which means the benefits are multifold when you sponsor it for the organization by and large. When you look at also the SME sector in India, you will always find key, and to the gentleman who asked on English also, uh,
Right.
you'll find that the as factories या फिर हम देखते हैं in the entire industrial belt. Think of all
Mm.
those employees who are working at those places.
Mhm.
When they have some challenges in the family, they just look at their employers to be the first source of help. वो लाला जी के पास जाते हैं कि लाला जी मुझे तो 2 लाख रुपए चाहिए, मेरे पास पैसे हैं नहीं और मुझे
Urgent time.
बीवी का ऑपरेशन कराना है या बेटे का ऑपरेशन कराना है. And in those instances, you'll often find that those businesses have less of an employee-employer relationship, more have a family-led relationship. तो उसमें लाला जी भी अपने ही गले में से निकाल के उनको 2 लाख या 1 लाख रुपए देते हैं और धीरे धीरे सूद के हिसाब से उनसे मूल और सूद अगले 3 से 4 साल में कलेक्ट करते हैं वापस. So what's happening here? This is a financial expense which is so unforeseen कि वो लाला जी को अपने ही गले में से निकाल के अपने ही बैंक अकाउंट में से निकाल के अपने एम्प्लॉय को हेल्प करना पड़ता है. Is this a compliance? No, but it's morality of these very employers who are building teams and calling them family. And that morality convinces them कि यार चलो मैंने इंश्योरेंस नहीं लिया था तो अब मैं ही इनके लिए मदद कर देता हूँ, ये मेरे साथ दिन रात रहते हैं, ये दिन के 10 घंटे यहाँ लगाते हैं. So it's not limited to anybody who's on this platform. If you're a product company or a service company, if you're working with gig workers of how do you go about helping, there is no compliance against it. Nobody's going to hold a gun against you कि आपने अपने gig worker के साथ अपने employee के साथ insurance नहीं दिया तो उनका खर्चा आप bear करें. नहीं. But it's just the morality that employers put in the experience to build a goodwill. The third point was improving the health and performance. Now this is something which is very इसको मैं कहूँगा ये काफी ज्ञान की बातों से आ रहा है, जहाँ पे फोर्ब्स ने इस लिंक में भी कहा है कि एम्प्लॉई का मेंटल हेल्थ, उनकी फिजिकल हेल्थ का सबसे ज्यादा कोरिलेशन which is more than their compensation also. ध्यान रहे, मैं दोबारा रिपीट करता हूँ कि लोगों की अपनी सैलरी से ज्यादा बड़ा कोरिलेशन उनकी अपनी मेंटल हेल्थ, फिजिकल हेल्थ पे रहता है when they look at comparing performance. यानी कि better health both mentally and physically has a better productivity for the organization. And this has been proven across several studies over the past. This got recently published on Forbes as well. So to summarize आपकी क्वेश्चन को जितेन, अगर बेस्ट पीपल चाहिए, आप किसी भी टाइप की कंपनी बना रहे हैं, so they today are now more and more aware और वो चाहते भी हैं कि उनकी फैमिली सिक्योर हो. When you are not securing them, ये आपके लिए एक moral threat या goodwill threat हो जाता है, जहां आप financially तो मना कर सकते हैं, but you don't want to set that kind of a precedent. और आप जानते हैं कि एक इंश्योरेंस प्रीमियम से जो उसका इंश्योरेंस रिवॉर्ड यानी कि जो क्लेम पास होगा, that is a multi-fold of a benefit. यानी कि आप 10 पे 20 रुपए नहीं, 10 रुपए खर्चा करके 20 का क्लेम नहीं लेते हैं, आप इनफैक्ट 10 रुपए खर्चा करके प्रॉब्ली 1000 रुपए का क्लेम लेते हैं. Simple, when you are looking at a plan, आप उस प्लान में सिर्फ एम्प्लॉइज भी कवर कर सकते हैं. आप ऐसा प्लान बना सकते हैं जिसमें एम्प्लॉइज और स्पाउस और चिल्ड्रन भी कवर्ड हैं. और जैसे जैसे आपकी कंपनी बड़ी होती जाती है, ये बात क्योंकि इंश्योरेंस कंपनी के लिए सिर्फ रिस्क की है, तो जितने ज्यादा लोग होते हैं ज्यादा लोगों का प्रीमियम आता है साथ में, तो इंश्योरेंस कंपनी थोड़ा कंफर्टेबल हो जाती है. तो आपकी अगर बड़ी टीम होती है तो वहां पे आप एम्प्लॉइज के पेरेंट्स को भी कवर कर पाते हैं. द बेस्ट एडवांटेज दैट यू हैव इन ग्रुप हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस इज कि आपको कोई टर्म्स एंड कंडीशंस ऐसे नहीं होते जो आप चेंज नहीं कर सकते. That's perfect, Rupali. You mentioned that your organization covers parents. तो पेरेंट्स के लिए भी कोई हेल्थ चेकअप की जरूरत नहीं है. आपको स्पाउस के लिए, एम्प्लॉय के लिए, किसी के लिए कोई हेल्थ चेकअप नहीं कराना तो आपको अपना हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस लेने के लिए व्हेन यू गो फॉर दिस प्लान, आप पहले ही दिन से सबके प्री एग्जिस्टिंग कंडीशंस को कवर कर सकते हैं. यस, जब हम आपके साथ बैठ के आपके लिए डिजाइन करते हैं, दिस इज अ कंसल्टेटिव अप्रोच दैट वी टेक एंड वी हैव टेकन. पिछले हमने 3 साल में लगभग 3,500 कंपनीज के लिए करा है. तो हम आपके लिए भी ऐसे ही बैठ के हम डिजाइन करेंगे कि आपके लिए क्या बेस्ट प्लान रहेगा, और उस प्लान की बेनिफिट्स आपको रिटेल प्लान से काफी ज्यादा मिलते हैं. दैट इज व्हाई एम्प्लॉयर्स प्रेफर कि हम अपने एम्प्लॉइज को एक ऐसा प्लान दें जो उनके लिए डे वन पे बहुत इंपैक्टफुल हो, कंपेयर कि अगर वो उसको पैसा दे दें उतना ही रुपया जितना प्रीमियम का है, मार्केट में उनको फिर भी वैसा प्लान नहीं मिल पाएगा जो ग्रुप हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस प्लान में मिलेगा. Jitendra, I hope I was able to do justice to your question.
Yes. Just to add to what you have said, Sarthak, it's no longer limited to Lalaji. Okay, we have a lot of pocket customers in this particular session, and most of our customers are very white collared and well-defined organizations. So we have a loan module in our Pocket HRMS. When my implementation consultant or my support consultant configures a loan element, typically they define two types of loans. One is marriage loan and other is health emergency loan. So,
Correct?
so
Correct?
I totally agree with you that, it affects the cash flow of the organization also, and they cannot say
Bilkul.
no to their employees. Yeah,
Correct.
that was
Correct.
good. So this actually leads me to another question. So is it like when an organization should start thinking about providing these kinds of benefits? Is it like at a startup stage, at a growth stage, or if I have to combine that, is there a minimum size that if I'm reaching say X number of employees, then only I should offer these benefits, or I can start at any time?
जी 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 जितेंद्र, अगर मैं इसको मॉरली आंसर करूं तो मेरा रिस्पॉन्स रहेगा कि जिस दिन आपने सोचा कि आप अपनी टीम में किसी को लेके आएंगे जो आपके लिए आपकी ड्रीम को बिल्ड कर
Hmm.
चेस करेगा
Hmm.
सकते हैं. So in India,
Yeah.
legally,
Yeah.
you can only take an insurance plan when you
Hmm.
have at least 7 lives being covered in a policy.
Okay.
हाँ, अगर आपकी पॉलिसी में 7 लाइव्स कवर हो रही हैं उस टाइम पे, तब आप प्लान ले
Hmm.
सकते हैं. धीरे धीरे जैसे इंश्योरेंस की ऑब्जेक्टिव्स बढ़ते जा रहे हैं, पीपल वांट मोर ओपननेस इन द प्लान, बहुत रिस्ट्रिक्टिव कम प्लान होता है, तो नेचुरली इंश्योरेंस कंपनीज आल्सो एक्सपेक्ट कि थोड़ा 7 से ज्यादा हमें मिले. सो एट दिस स्टेज व्हाट वी आर सीइंग एज अ स्वीट स्पॉट is to
Hmm.
have about 10 employees, which includes the directors of the company as well.
Hmm.
10 employees और उनके जो भी डिपेंडेंट्स के साथ आप प्लान करना शुरू करें. 10 is the right stage where you should immediately start thinking about insurance and begin with a plan which you believe is better or best on that day itself. Whatever you build as an insurance plan is not like a commitment of a factory that you have set up. It's not like a commitment of a office that you've opened. It's an
Hmm.
annual affair. यानी कि आप एक साल तक अपनी ही टीम को बेनिफिट्स ऑफर करके नेक्स्ट ईयर उस बेनिफिट्स को एनहांस भी कर सकते हैं. इट्स अ फाइनेंशियल प्रोडक्ट एट द एंड ऑफ द डे. तो हम भी नहीं रेकमेंड करते हैं कि आप पहले साल में ही सब ऐसा इंक्लूड कर लीजिए ताकि आप अगले साल आपके पास ना कुछ बढ़ाने के लिए रहे, ना ही आपके पास इतने क्लेम्स आ जाएं कि आप पॉलिसी सस्टेन ना कर पाए. So we help you define those very objectively. One of the best measures that we pull out over here is to let you know that what is the sweet spot. कि कहां पे जाके आपको ऑप्टिमाइज करके लाना चाहिए. और ये चीज हमने मार्केट में विटनेस करी है दैट द मोस्ट लैकिंग फीचर दैट पीपल डोंट गेट इज अन कंसल्टेटिव सेल्स टू हेल्प देम अंडरस्टैंड कि हमें क्या शुरू करना चाहिए, कहां खत्म करना चाहिए, कितना अभी लेना चाहिए, कितना बाद में लेना चाहिए. So I'm making this little bit abstract for the members on this call to reach out to us if they are thinking about insurance. Don't think that reaching out to your insurance to check with us means that you have to buy it as well. We're happy to do consultation to you as well and let you know कि आप अभी 5 मेंबर हैं, आप 5 महीने बाद आइए, हम आपको हेल्प करेंगे. या आप 50 मेंबर भी हो सकते हो और हम आपको बोलेंगे आज आपको आज शुरू करना चाहिए. With the experts in this space, we'll be very happy to help. But
Okay.
objectives यहाँ पे very very different होंगे जो अगर अपने आप स्क्रीन पर देख पा रहे हैं. तो ऑब्जेक्टिव्स जिससे स्टार्ट करते हैं जितेंद्र, ये स्टार्टअप्स या लार्जर ऑर्ग्स वो काफी डिफरेंट हो जाते हैं एक सर्टेन स्टेज पे. स्टार्टअप्स again started for the purpose of attracting the best talent. They do that for the safety net not only of their employees for the financial distress but to avoid the financial distress that can come on them as well अगर इंश्योरेंस ना हो तो, ताकि वो मॉरली उनको पे करना पड़े. एंड ऑफ कोर्स टू बिल्ड ट्रस्ट विद पोटेंशियल हायर. लार्ज जैसे जैसे आप होते जाते हैं तब आपका फोकस होता है कि हाउ डू आई बिल्ड द बेस्ट एक्सपीरियंस फॉर माय टीम. कैसे कैसे जाके हम बेस्ट प्लान्स लेके आए जिसमें बेस्ट कस्टमाइजेशंस हो सकें, बेस्ट टेक्नोलॉजी ला सकें. जो एडवांटेजेस पहले स्टार्टिंग में नहीं थे स्टार्टअप्स को, वो एडवांटेजेस हम लाना शुरू किया है दैट फॉर द यंगेस्ट 7 member team and for a company which is as large as say Swiggy or Zomato on Plum with more than 10,000 employees, experience for everybody is the same. यानी कि कोई बड़ा कोई छोटा नहीं है. The product does not discriminate. From a small company ABC Limited and Deepak from a Zomato will have the same experience. That's the objective of the product.
Okay. So Just to answer Simran's question, Simran, we will at the end of the session we will have a Q&A. There, Sarthak would be able to answer a lot of questions, which I think every one of us, when it comes to insurance, every one of us has certain questions in our mind. So allow me to, being a host, put my questions first, and then I hope that Sarthak will take questions from everyone. And Sarthak, yes, I understood that, getting an insurance employee health benefit is more important for smaller organization to attract the talent compared to a larger organization. Okay, because if I'm a startup or if I'm a SMB, I keep 4 types of coffees in my, pantry. And I
Correct.
actually see your plans. I can provide a years of health insurance to my employee at a cost which is lesser than जो मेरा कॉफी पी जाता है एम्प्लॉय एक महीने में.
You're
so
absolutely right.
so I totally understand from where you are coming. So being small is actually I guess more requirement for insurance. And when I go to mid size, it becomes very critical. Large, yes, they are, since they have CSR, they have employee benefits well defined, so they would be doing it. But I understand that small and medium businesses has equal requirement of the insurance. So now I'll get back to some of the important considerations which all of us, because I also run an organization, so there are certain consideration when we get a health insurance or a group health insurance. So as an employer, what are the basic parameters of health coverage HRs are now opting in the new age, and how much they are?
Got it. Perfect. No, thanks a
And
lot for that
and
question.
and yes. And also, related to this, could you also help us in identifying some points to keep in mind when I am selecting my insurance service provider? Okay, because today when I'm looking for insurance, there are direct insurance, there are xbazaars.com, then there is my traditional insurance broker. So what, and there are, hundreds of types of insurance. So what are the important points to keep in mind when I'm selecting my insurance service provider?
Lovely. I'll definitely
Yeah.
attempt to answer those questions. So, what
Yes.
you first mentioned was that how do you choose the right
Mm,
plan and at right stage as well? Right? So, it
mm.
is a little bit in conjunction to the previous point, Jitendra, कि,
Yeah.
while startups offer great plans, आपने देखा होगा कि when we are looking at young companies to attract great talent, so far we're doing one task
Mm,
of not being able to match the compensations of the larger companies in India because of course they have to
mm,
grow their revenues. So they offer
mm.
ownership of the organization in form of ESOPs.
Mm.
Now,
Okay.
ESOPs is being done because as part of compensation, young companies cannot afford those compensations, and that's the true nature of the market. That's how young companies are built in the first place.
Mm,
So you define ownership that people will get more invested in towards that as well. Your health
mm,
insurance that you build at an early stage acts as an equally important driver for people to sometimes even let go of very higher compensation and drive great health benefits
mm,
by the insurance. Think of an employee
mm.
which potentially has, and I'm giving you a realistic example, that probably takes their father to a dialysis to 8,000 rupees for a week.
Mm,
And that was not covered previously as part of their insurance. But now in your policy,
mm,
that treatment is covered to its entirety, meaning that that defined cost for that employee that was part of compensation you have now well taken care of and within your health insurance plan as well. So today, employees, when
mm,
they're looking at these benefits, they also are comfortable of letting go of to some extent that they're able to get better benefits at an organization that prefers to work with the insurance companies that will get better experience,
mm,
that prefers to work with
mm,
partners like us who can deliver a great experience to teams as well. So
mm,
coming to your point now
mm,
on basic parameters which are to be considered,
mm,
these are just four,
mm,
five parameters to begin with. So the number one is
mm,
that who will you cover in the plan in the first place?
mm,
Because you define the set of audience which we have today and mostly going to be white collared, I'll be a little prescriptive in my approach to define what could be the best plan look like. So start with a
mm,
plan which covers at least employees spouse, and children. Reason being, when you are starting a new company, you will be wanting some of the best talent also to join hands with you so that they can grow your team. And these people likely will also be coming from privileged places where they might have coverage not just for spouse and children, but parents as well. Which means to at least start with, it's recommended you start with employees, spouse, and children. Yes, basis the appetite for the budget, if you can stretch it to employees, spouse, children, parents as well, it's highly recommended. Statistically, of the overall startup market in India, more than 65% to 70% offer employee, spouse, child, about 22 odd percent offer employee, spouse, parents, and the balance offer employee plan only. So all in all, it's not more than 10% of organizations that just offer employee only plan in white collar startup spaces, compared to roughly about 85 to 90% which offer either employee, spouse, child, or employee, spouse, children, parent. This is the first thing that you choose when you define your plan. The next is choosing what is the appropriate sum insured. When we look at a plan which is covering employees, spouse, and children, or just employees, highly recommended to start with 3 lakhs in insured. If you're looking to cover parents as well, then you can go for a 5 lakhs sum insured. There is no significant, I would say, a back math to it. The logic simply prevails that the number of people that are there in one single family being covered in the insurance plan, the higher the utilization risk is. So if there are more people, a higher sum insured is always healthier to have. The next one that we have after sum insured is actually one of the benefits that you do not see in most of the retail plans in the first place. In fact, if you see as well, then you probably have 2 to 4 years of waiting period. This is maternity. Maternity of all insurance claims that you would witness is the only claim that is taken out of happiness. It's you welcoming a new member in the family, right? Which means this is not an ailment. This is not a disease. This is a treatment that you're simply getting to welcome a new member in your family. And for that, group health insurance offers coverage from the day one itself. Here, it's absolutely disrecommended to not have maternity benefits in your policy. Number one, it is an absolute must-have even if you have just one single female employee. Second, if you are taking a plan which covers spouses, doesn't matter if everybody is unmarried today, you should definitely have a maternity benefit. Anybody can get married at any point in time of the year and probably have a child 10, 12 months down the line as well. So maternity benefits is an absolute must-have. This is the only claim where an employee takes it out of happiness, and of course you are part of it because you're bearing the expenses for it as part of your insurance. The limits of it, however, are a little debatable. We are recommending to always start with a minimum limit of 50,000 rupees for both C-section or normal deliveries. Then over time you can increase it to 1 and 1.5 lakh as well. And the next, and as just as part of the basics, the only last benefit that I would recommend is to always always very carefully choose your room rent limits. You got to have a policy which has a 5 lakh sum insured, and I'm dropping a very quick truth bomb to everybody who is joining over here. So please do follow the next 15 seconds at least very carefully. If you have a policy which has maybe a 5 lakh sum insured, but your room rent is capped at say 1% of sum insured and your ICU is capped at 2% of sum insured. For folks who have ever dealt with insurance, this is very common terminology, that your room rent and ICU can be capped at a certain percentage of the sum insured itself. In that case, if Sarthak ends up at a hospital with a claim to be taken of, say, the entire 5 lakh rupees, but he only has to spend 2 days over there because of a treatment. For the 2 days, Sarthak chooses a 10,000 room rent limit instead of 5,000. Remember, Sarthak has a complete treatment of 5 lakh rupees totally. For the first day that he walked into the hospital says you only have to stay here. My policy has a 5,000 room rent limit. Let me go for a 10,000 room rent limit. It's only 5,000 extra, only for 2 days. I'll pay 10,000 out of my pocket. The balance insurance company can take care of. Insurance does not work in this way. Insurance works on stitched proportionate deduction of the room rent itself. Meaning, here, when I took my room rent, my allowed room rent was only 50% of what I chose the room rent to be, which is I chose a 10,000 room rent limit, but the limit that was allowed in the policy was only 50,000. In this case, the entire cost of my hospitalization, only 50% of it will be borne by the insurance company.
Okay. So I can claim 2.5, even if I'm insured for 5 lakhs. Wow, that was eye-opener. That was really an eye-opener. So this actually, leads me to a question which is related. I think Simran is one of the attendee who asked this question. And I faced this question myself when I had, even though it was a cashless insurance for me, okay, when I had to get discharged, I have to carry bundle of the, papers, discharge paper, get signatures, send to TPA for approval, TPA sends to insurance companies. And this actually is a, very tedious process. So are the challenges, I'm talking this about, 6, 7 years ago. So luckily, I don't have to use my cover right now. But I just wanted to understand that is still exist and or the emergence of technology has simplified some of those challenges, because I personally found it to be very challenging,
Yeah,
even
no,
though so is the challenges remain the same in an insurance, or the technology has changed the insurance also like every other field?
yeah. So it's a mix of both. At this stage, insurance companies have certainly improved, and there is a tier of insurance companies that have done a phenomenal job. I'm sure that a lot of insurance companies will soon catch up as well. It's technology. They're getting innovation every single day. But the challenges do persist. They do persist, and I would believe, humbly say so, that it's more about our knowledge and awareness than about the insurance plans itself. So insurance plans do lay out this very bare. These 1% of SI and 2% of SI is not something which is now there in policies. My first policy started back in 2003, which my father bought for me. This has been 20 years, and that policy also had a clause like that. Even today, policies have clauses like that. The only thing that has changed is that we have gotten better aware of it. I have more technological access to first know what I am buying and what am I claiming for. So, to what Simran also mentioned over here, Plum's genesis is also to help simplify this, because insurance by design is a financial product and a complex tool to navigate, and we are bringing in the knowledge, the awareness, and the human element to it. So Simran, for an example, planning such of a treatment, and we're able to walk them through each and every term condition of the policy. Like I can, so if I was going for that, would be either team that's watch out, your policy has a 5,000 room limit. Do not, otherwise proportion will get applicable. Please make sure that if you're going for a treatment, you that some hernia is capped at 45,000 in your. Please note that treatment cost will be covered. However, any other charges, maybe say toward syringes, etc., will not be covered. So we do extra step, extra educating awareness of the employees as well. This is where broke down the entire insurance experience, and we're delivering it at Plum, right? So, if Jiten, if you allow, I'm happy to walk the team through how we do Plum across purchase, administration, and employee experience.
Yeah, actually, this was my next question, that we talked about broadly about technology. Now I wanted to know more about Plum, that how, going through a Plum versus a traditional channel can help me as an
Yeah,
employer as well as an employee.
no, I'm very happy to deep dive into this. So I'm going to keep it very simple across a few pointers. On the next slide, you'll be able to see that we actually focus a lot on 4 areas to make it very, very simple for you to choose Plum. Number one, you've got a fully paperless experience. You have hassle-free claims because we have an in-house claims processing body team. So you have 24/7 with a partner at Plum rather than you having to deal with the insurance company, the TPA, or the hospital desk. It's an expert on our side who is your partner to help you through these challenges. We work only with the tier one insurance companies to make sure that you get the best of your benefits. And our benefits are truly comprehensive, which means what I just narrated out as 1% of the challenges are something that we will be actually recommending to not take in the first place. And that's where in downstream employees will face as less complications in a policy as possible. So there's a certain flow to how we do. We focus on three areas specifically. I will walk you through and walk the rest of the team through that as well. If you just check the slide before this, you'll be able to see, yes, if you could just check one slide before, this is an employee insurance for broken foot. Correct, perfect slide. So we help you with the purchase experience. Today you have manual pricing that takes 4 to 8 long weeks. You have a lack of consultative sales in the market. You've got hidden terms and conditions and opaque pricing. We are solving this, all 4 of these on purchase. The administration is completely manual, which means you have to make Excel sheets and download data, probably fill in details, collect data from employees on Google Forms, upload it on an Excel sheet, and then share it with the broker, and do it as a manual once in a month exercise. This is very, very time consuming and painful. Today on Plum, you're able to do all of these things from clicks of a button, which is as simple as you do it on your Pocket HRMS today as well. So you would know, Jitin, how difficult it was up until maybe a recent few years, half a decade ago, for people to probably do all things in different places, maybe payroll and HRMS and whatnot, from PT to PF filing differently. Now everything is getting consolidated in beautiful platforms like Pocket HRMS. Now we are bringing in the same simplicity within insurance. You get great visibility into claims. Today that was lacking. Employees and HRs had very limited support. They actually had to rely on their own HR and finance teams to solve stuff. And when it comes to employees, that's the most painful space to be in. There was no onboarding for employees, so they always had a lack of you witnessed yourself getting shocked with the proportion reduction. Imagine this happening across organizations with the hundreds and thousands of people taking insurance every year without that knowledge. So we do a very religious onboarding. Every single company on Plum goes through a dedicated onboarding for the HRs and the employees. There is no manual claims, 100% online, real-time tracking, scan it from your own Plum application and submit it for the claims. And you get absolutely phenomenal access to preventive healthcare, where we enable doctor consultations, dental plan, a vision checkup, talking to a therapist, talking to a veterinary for your doctor, all of that readily available on Plum. So this is how we're solving, Jitendra, everything related to preventive care, but as well as tertiary care of insurance.
Okay. So I would like you at the end of the session talking more about preventive care benefits. But before I get into that, I have a last question, which you might take with a pinch of salt. When it comes to technology, it's a double-edged sword for most of the people. While most of us are now very comfortable in scanning QR code even at a chai wala to pay 8 rupees or 10 rupees. Okay, when it comes to some high-tech, high-value purchases or high-ticket purchases, some of us are still skeptical कि फ्लिपकार्ट से जो है ना मैंने आईफोन ऑर्डर किया और उसमें साबुन आ गया तो क्या होगा. So I'm sorry to be that blunt, but from being an online insurance provider or a tech-based insurance provider, our companies, and then I see there are a lot of tech-based providers, somebody who's just an aggregator, somebody who is like only a broker with a fancy website, somebody who has a complete insured tech platform like yours. So if an organization have to, ascertain that authenticity, or they have to check the validation, or they have to check the potential, problems, drawbacks, which should we be aware of when we make some such purchase decision of an important component like employee benefit?
Correct.
I
So that's four
mean,
things to cover.
what is due diligence which we should do?
No, that's a beautiful question, and thanks for asking on behalf of these 45 people that are here, right? So I'll just explain this in two parts. One which is towards the compliance and building trust, and then is towards the expertise of the partner that you're partnering with. Both are equally important. You can have somebody being an expert in LIC agent who will have a license to give you insurance, but they'll have no expertise to manage a group health insurance for as large as a company. At the same time, you can have people who are probably claiming to have expertise, but in the name of it, they're probably selling you monthly plans in the name of insurance. They're not compliant. So four things to look out for. Number one, does your partner have a valid insurance intermediary license? Do they have a corporate agency license or a broker license? Both are indifferent. You can choose either one. Number two, does your partner and its leadership have significant experience in the insurance space itself? I can very well be a new company. My company is still built on the backs of two very seasoned leaders who bring in more than 3 decades of insurance experience. Debankar, who leads our entire operations, is the last country head for Bima, and Aditya, who leads our insurance strategic partnerships and insurer relations, is an ex senior vice president of ICICI Lombard with more than a decade of experience. So the partner that you're partnering with, are they seasoned? Number three, what is their expertise? The best way to test out their expertise is that which are the brands are they working with? Are these brands that you aspire? Are these brands that you consume? Think of every single brand that has taken an app space on your phone. If somebody is deserving enough as a company to deserve real estate on your own phone as an application, which be it Zomato, Swiggy, you can only go to realize that that brand has only been built on the backs of some of the best people working for them. And if those people are trusting your partner, then clearly they're doing something right in the market. So yes, who are we working with? Are we doing a justifiably good service to some of the best brands in the market? That's a trust leverage that you're able to immediately build. Of course, you can ask for references, you can reach out to some of the customers and check. And fourth, last but not the least, are they comprehensive enough? Which means, are they going beyond just focusing on my employees' claims? Do they have access doctors which are in-house that they can extend? Can they enable a health checkup camp at your office? Are they covering areas of wellness? I'll give you an example. At Plum, we focus on 4 areas of wellness: sexual, physical, mental, and financial. We're covering all four bases over there as well. So are we helping people with that? These four areas are critical spaces for you to decide a good partner. Number one, to reiterate, is your partner compliant? Do they have the right licenses and products to do this? Number two, do they have the expertise to be in this space? So is their team capable? What have they done? Number three, is there a trust leverage that you can see, which means are there companies which are either of your size or larger size trusting in them? And number four, are they comprehensive enough to serve you not only your today's needs, but your future needs as well? These four questions put together will just identify the best partner for you, and you'll be able to they'll be able to make it a cakewalk for you, which is probably a huge challenge for you today.
Okay, fantastic. And actually, one more question from my side, based upon, I think you have accidentally opened an Excel sheet. Now, there are a couple of insurance companies, even in health sector, which are pure digital. That means, I'm sure I would not take the names, but they don't have a physical presence. And we buy the insurance from them assuming that we are getting a cheap insurance, but when it comes to claim processing, sorry, this was excluded, this was not included, and there are, you should have read page number 92 of policy document, whereas there are some reputable, companies like ICICI, Lombard, and all those EXA and things like that, which have an offline presence and which also has a very good reputation in insurance market. So I just wanted to understand that for what kind of partners you work for, like who are your insurance partners, to give comfort to the people in this room that when they are buying through Plum, it's not only Plum. They are backed up by some well-known insurance service providers.
Absolutely. So today we work, Jitin, with only the tier one insurance companies in India. And there are several parameters that goes about into the evaluation. We do this as a quarterly exercise to keep an insurer on our roll or not. But I'll namely so put the ones that we're actively working with. This does not go to say that the other ones are not doing a good enough job. I think they're catching up really well, and they'll soon be the ones in the tier 1 space that we'll work with as well. But today we say ICICI Lombard, we see Niva Bupa, we see Care Health, we see Digit, we see New Indian Oriental. To be the insurers who've done a phenomenally good job on the group health insurance space. Mind you, I have not taken names of other brands as well, which are equally great and reputable, but by their own alignment, might not have a great technical capability built on the group health space itself. But this is a constant evaluation. Some of these names that I just mentioned weren't existing 2 years ago very proactively in this space. And there were names who were very proactive at that stage who are not available in the list that I mentioned right now. What does this mean? This simply means that you do not need to worry if you have an effective partner to do that job for you. If you are trusting a partner, then your partner is responsible to get all those things done, to effectively choose a proper insurer that can give you the service levels expected. And what are the service levels that are easily explainable to you as an end consumer that you should get bothered with? Are only a few. Number one, how will my pre-authorization or cashless stat look like? When I go to the hospital, क्या मेरा claim जब मैं hospital में जाऊंगा क्या 45 मिनट में बस approval आ जाएगा? अगर हाँ, तो एक अच्छा इंश्योरर है। क्या जब मैं hospital से discharge हो जाऊं, मैं अपना claim paperlessly submit कर सकता हूं? अगर हाँ, तो अच्छा इंश्योरर है। क्या मेरा सबमिट किया हुआ क्लेम मेरे पास 7 दिन के अंदर रिइंबर्स होकर आ सकता है? अगर हाँ, तो एक अच्छा इंश्योरर है। क्या जो क्लेम सबमिट होने के बाद मेरे पास वापस रिइंबर्समेंट में आएगा, उसमें कोई भी मेरे डिडक्शंस नहीं होंगे, यानी कि उस कंपनी का क्लेम सेटलमेंट रेशियो अच्छा है? अगर है, तो अच्छा इंश्योरर है। ये चीजें रिपीटेड बेसिस पे आप एज अ कस्टमर नहीं पता कर पाते। आप गेस वर्क में इसको अपने एक कलीग के पास एक दूसरे एचआरएमएस प्लेटफॉर्म के थ्रू किसी एक एचआर कलीग के साथ आप पता करने की कोशिश करते हैं। We remove this hassle. We say we'll come back to the table and we'll give you evaluated insurance companies and we'll then do a recommendation. आपके पास जब हम ऑप्शन शेयर करते हैं, हम भी काफी सारे ऑप्शन शेयर करते हैं, ऑर्डर 2 3 4 5, but then we recommend what is the best one to take.
Okay. Fantastic. So I am sorry, I'm going a little longer than allotted time, but I have personally seen a very unique employee wellness program also. When I go through Plum Insurance, okay, I have an add-on which is a wellness program. So would you mind sharing those wellness program on this platform? I think you have 3 types of plans, right? So I personally liked it so much that, you know, it costs less than a Domino pizza and I'm covered for a year. So maybe if you can share for the benefit of all the audience, that would be the last request from my side. And then I will hand over to Gaurav for questions and answers.
I would love to. So the audience that is available over here, thanks a lot for bearing this 1 hour with me. I'll quickly answer this last question as well. So at Plum, we are an employee health benefits platform, and like I mentioned, we take care of the entire pipeline. We start with helping employees and employers build the best insurance plan, but the precursor of it, which is a good preventive care plan, we enable it all the ways from wellness. So you are able to talk and meet creators. These could be doctors, these could be influencers, these could be specialists across 4 spaces: sexual, mental, financial and physical. यानी कि योगा के सेशंस, यानी कि टैक्स कैसे इफेक्टिवली फाइल किया जाए उसके sessions on how do you keep the best mental health as a space and how do you keep yourself sexually very active. ये सारी चीजों में we help you with sessions on wellness as well. Post this, when you believe something is not right with you and you want the first level of aid that comes in form of a doctor consultation, today on Plum, in-house, this is not by a third party, in-house we have more than 129 doctors, where we also have general physicians and other specialties in 7 languages across both genders, with general physicians being available 24/7 to get access in the next 10 minutes itself. Meaning your employee can wake up with an unfortunate pain at 3 a.m. in the morning and still can consult a doctor in the next 10 minutes and probably get an immediate remedy done. They do not have to rush to a hospital. They do not have to panic. They just need that first call with the consultant to decide what's the best next step to take. Once this is enabled, they are able to go for a claim if required. If not, they can be able to suspend their entire consultancy, write on Plum, get their prescription, get their medicines. To enable the complete preventive pipeline as well, we let employees, sorry, 1 second. We not only let employees consult, they can order medicine, they can book a health checkup, they can book a vision checkup, they can do unlimited dental consultations right on Plum. So the three areas like I covered, wellness, that was one. Second was preventive care, which is the access to doctors and all forms of health benefits. And third is insurance, where we spoke very detailed for the last 30 minutes. And I hope we were able to give you some good glimpse of what we do at Plum as well.
Okay, so you said that there are specialists also. So if today I have to consult a specialist, maybe a neurologist or a cardiologist, the minimum fees they charge is 1,500 to 2,000 rupees in a mid-size hospital. So you mean to say that when I opt for employee wellness benefit, that comes to me as a inbuilt in my plan?
Yeah, so you get a value add to add for insurance along with insurance, where for
Okay.
a price which is again as low as 2 Starbucks coffee a year,
Right.
you are able to enable a plan for your team where they can consult with any of the specialists unlimited times for anybody in the entire family, irrespective of who is covered in your insurance. Your parents might not be
Okay.
covered in your insurance, you can still go ahead and take that consultation. So for I would say for starting at as low as maybe 2 Starbucks coffee a year, which is basically between 600 to 800 bucks, for family, you get unlimited consults with unlimited members of your family throughout the year with 23 to 25 specialists.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Which one consult with a simple mental therapist today costs north of 1,800 bucks in Bangalore.
Right, right. That's what I said, that any specialist or even a general physician today charges anywhere between 500 to 1,000 depending upon his experience level.
Correct.
So
And
yeah,
that's one consultation, one member, one time. We are
yes.
looking at providing benefit which consults unlimited members, unlimited times, unlimited specialties.
Okay, so even if I am only covered, my entire family can take the consultation of
You
general
absolutely can.
physician as well as specialist. That's wonderful.
Absolutely.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So with this, I think I am rushing to, buy a Plum Wellness program. I'm not sure about audience. I'm sure they would be as excited. And I open this forum. Maybe Gaurav can moderate and he can take any questions which audience might have. So Gaurav, over to you.
Thank you so much, Jay sir, for being a wonderful host for today's session. Uh, so I'll take it things forward. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, everybody joining today.
Yes.
Jitendra, this was a phenomenal experience. Thanks a
Yes.
lot for making time to do this for the community. I think
For
you
me
and I
also.
both owe it to the 45 people who've stayed till the last over
Yes.
here. Folks, will be very happy if you have any questions. Please feel free to reach out to us. We'll share some email IDs as well with you. Dia, if you can extend my email ID as well, I'll be very happy to answer any question. And we look forward to you getting onboarded to Pocket HRMS's new features along with your health insurance with Plum.
Right. So I just want to add any, participant has any question, because right now we have a specialist with us
Very
who
happy to
can
answer.
help.
If anybody
Yeah,
has any
happy to
questions,
answer.
yeah,
I
absolutely.
have many questions, so I think I am done. Anyone in the audience has any questions? You can just raise hand or type in the chat box.
Yes, guys, you can type in your chat box, or else if you can raise your hand, I will give you an authority to unmute yourself. You can use ask question directly. We are running out of time, so please respond quickly. Yes, so Rupali is raising hand. Rupali, just give me a second. Yes, Rupali, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hello.
Hi, Rupali.
Yeah, hi. Actually, I wanted to know whether you people have an annual health checkups also.
Yes, Rupali, we do provide annual health checkups with our partners. This can be done at your premise should you require to be done at office, but we do, of course, advocate to be that done at people's own homes whenever throughout the year, whenever they want. So on Plum, you can purchase an employee annual health checkup, and we can enable it for your entire team where they can call a phlebotomist, get their annual health checkup done anytime through the year, and get their reports online, which further they can consult with the doctor and
Hmm.
take their next steps as well.
But what about you are talking about only blood checks. Okay. What about other, sonography and all?
Yes, we do that as well. We, in fact, are partnered with several hospitals pan India where we can help you with complete body panel tests which are done at clinic as well. This can extend from mammography, sonographies, pap smear scans for cancer,
Mhm.
even CT scans, MRI scans to be done at a clinic as well.
All right. Thank you.
So this is covered into, your wellness package which we buy. Because if I
Yeah.
go to
So this is
MRI,
so
it
when you
costs
take
anywhere between
insurance.
5 to 10,000.
Yeah, so these are dedicated packages that we are able to build. Again, like I mentioned, nothing is a cookie cutter on Plum. It is very
Okay.
consultative to what your requirements are. So we are able to customize it to the plan and then work it out either with the benefits that we provide ourselves in house or with the partners that we have to provide such kind of benefits at certain hospitals and clinics as well.
Okay. Amazing. Okay. So anyone else? Yes. So we have one more question.
Yes, Sivas,
Shiva.
Srinivas, yes. Yes, Siva, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hello. Yeah, I'm audible.
Yes, sir, you're audible. Yes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I couldn't join this session. I joined in the last minute. Uh, can I call you directly? I have so that I can have, or if you can share some document, I can just go through it and then I can call you for some queries.
Sure, Shiva.
Yes.
We'd be happy to extend an introduction deck with you, and we'll share contact details. I'm just for the quicker interest, I'm just dropping in my email right away. Uh,
Yeah.
Let me know at. I'm always approachable.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. Or Shiva, you can also, consult with your Pocket HRMS consultant and they would be able to help you in connecting to the right person within
Sure.
Plum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Anyone else has any question? Yes, so there is a question by Rupali. What about OPD cover? Yes.
Yeah. OPD cover with say a certain threshold in your policy itself that can be done.
Okay.
Karthik, you
So you
were
can.
kind of, can you please repeat the answer because it was kind of a glitch. Yes.
All right, sure. No, so I was mentioning that Trupali, you can definitely build an OPD cover within your plan. This comes at a certain sublimit, so you can decide that I want to give maybe a 20,000 rupees per family OPD cover to each family that is getting covered in your policy, and that can be done within your insurance plan itself. Of course, it comes at a certain additional cost because OPD is far more consumable compared to an IPD treatment at a hospital. But yes, in terms of that getting included, you can include that in your insurance cover as well.
Okay. But telemedicine is like your panel of doctor is already included.
Yes, telemedicine again
Okay.
as an add-on beyond insurance is already available on Plum. You can take
Okay.
an add-on of of telemedicine as well.
Okay. Okay. Sure. Sure. So one more question from my side. one of the costliest treatment today and is generally not covered by most insurance is dental coverage. Now, when I say dental, it's not only scaling. Dental could be, surgical dental. So is there any add-on available which an employee can purchase?
Unfortunately, no.
No,
Insurance
okay.
in India still does not cover dental. Dental has come a long way in getting covered in all forms of accidental treatments where you could have anything related to your teeth, your jaw, which requires any form of surgery or treatment due to an accident. It is 100% covered. The rather plethora of services around dental are considered cosmetic in nature and are not covered in insurance.
Okay, got it. Vijay, Gaurav, you can unmute Vijay.
Yes, I'm just muting. So I guess, for the rest of the audience, our speaker is running out of time. He has another meeting in the line. So Vijay's question will be our last question. If you have any kind of doubts, we'll be happy to help you. You can contact your Pocket HRMS consultant. They will be happy to guide you, and we'll connect you with the Plum team as well. So Vijay, over to you.
थैंक यू सर। सार्थक जी नमस्कार। मैं बीच में थोड़ी देर के लिए कॉल आ गया था, मिसिंग हो गया, बहुत सारी चीज नहीं सुन पाया। बहुत अच्छा सेशन था, बट मेरा एक सवाल है, ये जो एम्प्लॉई हैं, बहुत सारे एम्प्लॉई ऐसे होंगे जिनके पास बेसिक हेल्थ कवर नहीं होगा।
बिल्कुल,
कोई इंश्योरेंस उसके पास नहीं है। क्या हमारी एप्लीकेबल होगा या ये केवल टॉप अप में काम करेगा?
सर आप ओपीडी की बात कर रहे हैं या इंश्योरेंस की बात कर रहे हैं?
इंश्योरेंस की बात कर रहा हूँ
सर। आप इंश्योरेंस यंग से यंग टीम के लिए, यानी कि अगर आपकी 10 मेंबर की टीम है और आप उनके लिए अपनी बजट के हिसाब से एक सस्ते से सस्ता प्लान यानी कि स्टार्ट करना चाहते हैं, which is maybe say just only 1 lakh sum insured also, आप फिर भी कर सकते हैं और वो टॉप अप नहीं, वो आपका बेस पॉलिसी भी रहेगा।
धन्यवाद।
Okay.
Yes, I guess JJ sir, we can wind up the session because Sarthak has another meeting in line as to you. Yeah.
Thank you, Sarthak. It was a really amazing session. We got to know. We actually demystified a lot of questions around or doubts around insurance and benefits for our employees. Okay, and we look forward for more such sessions from Plum. Thank you.
It's been an absolute delight. Thanks a lot for having me. Everybody who's joined us, our audience, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks a lot for joining. We'll anytime see you at Plum. Just let us know, reach out to your Pocket HRMS relationship manager and they can anytime connect you with us.
Sure.
Perfect. Thank you. Have a lovely evening, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.